Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. You get fairy dust. I get fairy dust. She does too. It's time for another episode of Codependent No More. Melody Beatty, amazing classic book. We're on chapter 4, and we will be on chapter 4. We have so many characteristics. So many. Okay, so we're on page 47, and now it's time to talk about our weak as fuck boundaries. Okay, codependents frequently say they won't tolerate certain behaviors from other people, and then gradually increase our tolerance until they can tolerate and do things that they never said they would. Oh my God, that is so true. I remember being in dysfunctional relationships early in my life, and 20s, 30s, I'm an old bitch. And I remember thinking, if this person, I'll put up with this, but if this person does this, I'm out. Or if this person does this again, I'm done. And then they would do it. And then I would think, okay, if they do this though, that's when I'll leave. If we'll do that. And so that's a clue. And so, yes, I did that so many times. And that's a clue for us to know that it's really, really, really never about the other person. It's always about us. It's me who will tolerate more. So we attract each other at our level of mental health. And so if we're with somebody who, doles out a bunch of shit that we have to take and is mean and not nice and whatever, passive aggressive, whatever, we're the match to that. We're at that same level of mental health. We attract that. And so that's where the work has to start, not with this person, but you can see the bargaining that we do. Well, if this person would just do this very bad thing, then I can leave. If they do this very bad thing. And that is just the inner saboteur saying, that's the inner saboteur or the disease of codependency or whatever you want to call it, whispering in our ear, well, you got to forgive that. But if they did this, you can leave. And so it keeps us stuck. So the work is always, always in us. It's like, what is going on with me that I would tolerate this shit? Like, what is it? And we got to go fix that. And therapy is a place that we go fix it. Let others hurt them, check. And that's bad enough. Like, that's hard and bad enough. Keep letting people hurt us. So we are unable to, it's almost like codependency creates a helplessness in us where we just allow people to really do whatever they want with us. And it's really, really sad. It's very, very sad. Let's just take a moment and be sad about all of the things that we tolerated. Like, let's grieve that. Like, that is truly, truly sad that we thought we weren't worth whatever it was for a person not to take that. Like, we didn't have the self-worth. And it's growing every day in all of us, even more. My view from the complex PTSD world is that we don't have a self. So why the fuck would we set a boundary with ourselves? Or why would we set a boundary for someone else? If I don't have a self, if I don't have self-care, self-efficacy, self-confidence, self-worth, self-understanding, self-knowledge, awareness, self-esteem, if I don't have any of that, it's because I don't have a self. We don't have any of the good stuff that comes after the word self because we don't have the self. And so why on earth would I need to set a boundary? If I'm garbage, why do I need to set a boundary? Garbage doesn't need a boundary. And then we find out that we're not fucking garbage and that there is something magical and wonderful and not broken inside of us, deep, deep, deep inside of us. And it took me a really long time to find that in myself. But I found it. This shit works. Like, healing this shit actually works. Wonder why we hurt so badly. You know, it's all very confusing what we're doing. We're so unconscious. We're unaware of the stuff that we're letting slide, and the stuff, we're unaware of what is okay and not okay, because if we were raised this way, then that means that stuff is okay. And then we think that we're deserving of it because it keeps repeating in our life. Complain, blame, and try to control while they continue to stand there. This makes me think about one of the things, I mean, when I try to write about it, it sounds so fucking harsh. Like, I just did a post recently of like, the problem isn't with the gaslighter, the problem isn't with the liar, the problem isn't with the addict. The problem is, or the stuff that they do, that's not the problem, that they're mean. Because if they're mean and cunning and cruel or whatever, that's horrific, that's horrible and unacceptable. But the pickle is they do all that ... and I stay. And you know, it almost feels like, oh, I'm being mean to myself by saying that. Because the fact is that codependents, we do beat ourselves up for staying in these fucking relationships. We actually do that. So this is not about beating ourselves up for ... and I stay. It's about understanding what the actual problem is. What the actual problem is that ... and I stay ... and I tolerate this ... and I said it's okay ... and I have weak boundaries. That is where we have to work. But the bad shit they do is so dramatic and shiny, and you know, it's really good fodder to talk to people about what a fucker this person is, you know. And so then we get in a trap of complaining about it as opposed to actually solving the problem, which is over here ... and I stay. This is hard truths, hard truth. So take care of yourself when you watch this. We complain, like they're bad, you know, and we complain to our friends or whatever. Codependents finally get angry. That is the cycle of abuse, where we take it, finally get angry. And then we go back into submission. Take it, until we finally go back into submission. So look at here. Look at. I hate looking at my nails. The problem, we have to solve the problem, and we have to take care of ourselves. That's the only way out of this cycle. And so that's why I focus on ... and I stay, because that's actually the problem we can heal. And ... and I stay. Can we take care of you just a little bit? What can we do to take care of you and nurture you? The nurture part of that is not for women. Women always nurture other people. So it's about nurture self as opposed to nurture other people. Just to be clear for my fawns, my fellow fawns unite. Become totally intolerant. I think that's, you know, when you're totally at the end and you're just like, the person is a memory. Just not, why did I say memory? The person is it's always bad. So the cycle of abuse, I think of it as, you know, depending on the cycle and the relationship, this goes fast, mad, or it goes slow. Tick, until the ticking time bomb. But you know, like those couples that are older and they just fucking hate each other. Like there's some young examples of that, but just like fucking hate each other and everything is horrible. So yeah, so the next video is on lack of trust, and I'm just going to run through these real quick. We don't trust ourselves, we don't trust our feelings, we don't trust their decisions, we don't trust our decisions, we don't trust other people, we try to trust unworthy people, we think God has abandoned us, and we lose faith and trust in God. This is all, to me, I mean, the more that I realize, the more that I talk about this feels like all the shit that we've learned about childhood trauma. I'm beginning to truly think that all codependency is childhood trauma, and that codependency is the fawn response and other responses. So like when she said that becoming totally intolerant, that's a fight response. So the codependent eventually switches to the fight response. But this is why we don't trust ourselves, because we don't have a self. Trust ourselves. So we don't have a self. So how could we trust ourselves? Also, for those, growing up, we're kids and we're looking at the things that are going on around us, and we say something like, Uncle is weird to me. Like, Uncle does something strange to me. Like, oh, you're just imagining that. Like, that's not the way that happened. That's, so children get gaslighted and are taught to minimize and all that. And so then we think our intuition is wrong because we're children. And so we think that the things that we're feeling are wrong. And part of the great, wonderful existence you get to have when you heal this shit is that you get to finally trust yourself. Why can't we make a decision? Why can't we trust a decision? Because we always got our hand slapped when we did. And so it's like, of course. So we pseudo kill these things in ourselves. I say pseudo because we don't actually kill it. It's right there waiting for us to retrieve it, to retrieve that part of ourselves. And we can't become our full selves unless we do retrieve that. And so just so you know that when you start making decisions, it's fucking uncomfortable. It's awful because we're not used to it. When we start trusting our gut, it's like, that person seems weird, or why is that car there, or whatever. Once we start trusting our gut, again, we get to, that is true. From this moment forward, your gut is always right. If you think someone's flirting with you, they're fucking flirting with you. If you think somebody's looking at you mean, they're looking at you mean. They're being mean. If you think that, some behavior is odd, or it is. You have spidey sense. We all do. And so, but we kill it. We pseudo kill it in childhood. I'm so worked up. My book was upside down. Don't trust other people, of course, because we've been burnt so many times. And it is sad, and we do trust unworthy people, which continues the self-fulfilling prophecy, because we say, oh, I'm going to trust this person, but then they're a scumbag or a piece of shit. And then we get burned, and then we're like, see, I shouldn't trust anybody. So you see how that works and spirals on itself. And this is one of the sad things, is that we think we can't trust God either. Everyone has let us down. Every fucking one. So we don't get to trust God either. And for those who are religious or spiritual, that is a wonderful part of healing, is getting to explore that relationship with your higher power authentically, and then getting to get into truly a relationship, they say personal relationship with your higher power. And for those of us who are agnostic or atheists, I think you can think more of, the world is trustworthy, or the world, I'm beginning to, trust whatever, the universe, whatever, and you get your language that's suitable for you. And atheists, I think it's just a matter of, being fully human, not being able to trust our humanness to our core. This might not be right. So if it doesn't fit for you, if I'm saying things like that doesn't fit, like, don't take it out, like, throw it away. If it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't apply to you. Because here's something important about truth. Only truth resonates. Only truth resonates, which is why you're connecting with me about these things, because you can tell that I'm being fucking honest. And that the things that I say resonate with you in your soul, like they resonate with you deep in your psyche. And that's how you know a truth. So we have to take little baby steps learning how to trust ourselves. And I have the Ladder of Trust tool up on YouTube. So that is a way to begin to trust everyone. One fucking rung at a time. I love you. I hope that was helpful.